So today we are going to understand bubble sorting with the help of algorithm. In bubble sorting, two contiguous elements of an array are compared and swapped when needed. If not needed, they will remain at their own position. And in bubble sorting, total number of passes needed are n minus 1. That is, if total number of elements are 5, so number of passes needed would be 5 minus 1, that is 4. So this is our array of 5 elements. In this array, first comparison between 5 and 23 will be done, and swapping will be done if needed. We can see that 5 is smaller than 23. Internally, code will be run for swapping, but these elements will not change their position. Then comparison between 23 and 17 will be done, and they will be swapping in between them. Then comparison between 23 and 3 will be done, and they will be swapping in between 3 and 23. And then comparison between 23 and 12 will be done, and they will be swapped. So we can see that by the end of first pass, our largest element has shifted to extreme right. Then in second pass, again 5 and 17 will be compared and swapped if needed. Then comparison between 17 and 3 will be done, and they will be swapped. Then comparison between 17 and 12 will be done, and they will be swapped. Similarly, 17 and 23 will be compared, and they will be swapped if needed. So by the end of second pass, we can see that our second largest position of our second largest number of our array has shifted to its position, right position. Then in third pass, comparison between 3 and 5 will be done, and swapping will be done if needed. Then 5 and 12 will be done, and swapping is needed will be done if needed. If no swapping is needed, they will remain as it is. Then 12 and 17 will be compared, then 17 and 23 will be compared. We can see that our array is already sorted, but internally our code will run for these till it completes total number of passes, that is n minus 1, that is 5 minus 1, 4. Here again 3 and 5 will be compared and swapped if needed. Then comparison between 5 and 12 will be done, then 12 and 17, and then 17 and 23. So by the end of fourth pass, our array will be completely sorted. Now today we are going to see how can we implement bubble sort in our program. So hash include stdio.h, then int main. I'm taking integer variable. First of all, I'm taking integer arr and I'm passing 10 elements to it, comma, integer I, integer j, and one more integer variable temp. Now I'm writing code to take input of elements into my array. Now through this code, I have already taken input of element into my array. Next, I will be writing code to print this array. So this is my code to print the array. Now we'll start our bubble sort code. So we know that in bubble sort, if total number of elements are n, number of passes would be n minus 1. And in bubble sort, we will be using two for loops, internal and external. External for loop is for number of passes, and internal for loop is for number of comparisons. So for I equals to 0, semicolon I is less than 10. We have taken 10 elements into my array, so it will start from 0 and will go up to less than 10, that means 9. Semicolon I plus plus. Now I'm starting internal for loop. For j equals to, I'm starting it with 0, semicolon, j is less than, number of elements are 10, minus I semicolon j plus plus. Now what I have to do? Here I have to check if element at ARR of j, that is 0 position, is greater than ARR of j plus 1. Then we have to swap those elements using swapping code. So I have to check that first. If within bracket ARR of element at ARR of j position, that means right now it is j is 0. Element at 0 index number is greater than element at index number 1, then they will be swapping. Is greater than ARR of j plus 1, then we have to swap. Temp equals to ARR of j, ARR of j equals to ARR of j plus 1, and ARR of j plus 1 equals to temp. Now we'll be printing our sorted array, and the code will be same for printing. Save the program. Here we'll be writing return 0. Save it, build it, and then run it. So it is asking me to enter the value for element 0. I'm giving 9, 8, 6, 5, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5. So here it has printed our array as it is, and here it is printing bubble sorted array. So how it is running internally? This loop is for number of passes. Number of passes is equals to number of elements minus 1. Now here I have initialized j with 0. 0 is less than 10 minus I is 0. So then j is less than 10. Here we are checking if ARR of j, that is element at ARR of 0 index, is greater than element at ARR of 0 plus 1 index, then we have to swap. It will be swapped internally. And if it is not, that means element at ARR of 0 position is not greater than ARR of j plus 1, then code will run but elements would not be swapped. Again it will go here and increase the value of j by 1, making it from 0 to 1. Now 1 is less than equals to 10 minus I is still 0. Again it will check, and again if swapping is needed it will swap, otherwise elements will remain same. This internal for loop will run till this condition is true. When this condition gets false, it will go to external for loop and increase the value of I by 1, making it 1. Now it will check 1 is less than 10, again it is true, then again internal for loop will run in same way till this condition gets false. Again when this condition gets false, it comes to external for loop and increase the value of I by 1. Again this condition will be checked. If it is true, this internal for loop will run. If it is false, that means swapping is done completely, then program terminates and our array would be sorted now.